created Joe Cool is here to talk all about Joe Cool, all about what Joe Cool is doing, which I think is very cool. And we're going to ask him all these questions about Joe's season, the Joe Burrow Foundation, what's going on here. So we're going to jump right to it. Coach, thank you for coming. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Sorry to keep you waiting. Can you hear us? Coach? I don't think you can hear us.
I don't think you can hear us either. Coach, you got us?
Coach, can you hear us? Cut out of that. All right.
Got his audio.
We got his audio. I don't think he's got our audio.
Oh, he has. Coach, you got us?
Coach, can you hear us? All right. Okay. We're working through it.
We'll work it through.
Working through some things. Let's see if he texted me.
It usually works. He comes on.
Well, back to what I was saying. Some technical difficulties, but we're here. We can hear him. He cannot hear us. We are working through that right now. And he said he cannot hear us, obviously.
That sounds right.
That makes sense.
Let's see if we go here, and here.
Coach, can you hear us? Cannot hear us.
All right.
Okay, well, we got a big show today. We do have a big show today. I promise you that. We got two guests coming on, Coach Jimmy Burrow, and Danny McRae is coming on the 6:30-ish hour. Maybe that get pushed back a tad because of what we got going on right now. Like I said, technical difficulties have been crushing us.
Mainstream.
Crushing us lately.
Winning lately.
Crushing us. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. We've tried our best to fix it. This is not on Lloyd. This is on some higher technology that really just doesn't want our seat, I think.
Hold on. See, give Coach a try.
Coach, can you hear us? Coach?
Barely.
Hey,
Oh,
barely.
there he is.
Okay.
Getting a little better.
All right, I can hear you. Tell me when it gets good enough to where it's good.
How we doing, Coach? You got us?
I got you.
All right.
I appreciate
How's
that.
There.
Look at us working.
Look at us.
Look at that.
Look
we
at
got
what this
through
man's
it.
repping.
Coach, I appreciate you.
Look, always with
Listen,
the Joey B.
awesome.
Look
I
at
love
this room.
Love it. That is
Hey.
a great room.
That backdrop right there is something pretty special. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
I
to keep.
do a few of these. This is my little studio.
I love that. Sorry to keep you waiting. Thank you for your patience. Let's jump right into this. Right, obviously Joe Burrow.
Okay, hold on one second. Whoever's talking there is barely hear them.
Okay, that would be me, Lloyd.
Somebody else was talking. I could really hear them.
Got us.
What about now? The guy's talking. Can you hear me better now?
No, I can hear the other person. Whoever's.
Lloyd, he can hear you.
Oh, well, that's not a good interview, Coach. You don't want to really hear from me.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Here. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna figure this out. Take this one.
I don't know where I can turn it up.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's on our side, Coach. Here you go.
Move this.
I'm not going to.
That one shot.
Coach, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
All right,
Bad
there
wire,
we go.
bad
It was a
wire.
bad wire. Look, we're here, Coach. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I thank you for your patience. I know it's it's a little later than we wanted you on, but I appreciate it. Let's jump right into it. Joe Burrow and the Bengals, your son, he comes back into Louisiana this Sunday. They play the Saints. How excited are you to have, or I guess him, because he's kind of an adopted son of Louisiana. It's probably going to be one of the few times in the Superdome a visiting team / player is going to probably overpower New Orleans Saints. How excited are you? How excited is he? I'm excited to watch it and to be in that number on Sunday.
Yeah, we're excited as a family. You know, if you ask Joe, I'm sure he's excited, but you guys kind of know his personality. He's so locked in to trying to get better, and today's their first really week of practice and putting in the game plan. So it'll probably hit him when he walks into the Superdome. But you know, for us, it's really special. I'm sure, again, deep down, it is to him. We're looking forward to it.
You spoke about his personality. Obviously, you know, he's got the nicknames Joe Cool, Joe Burr, some other nicknames that probably aren't suitable for this interview.
For the family.
But you know, that comes from, you know, obviously growing up with a coach in the family, growing up with older brothers, I'm assuming. Has he always had that personality? Does that come from you? Did he inherit that Joe Cool personality from you? Because everything he does, whether it be showing up dressed in something that looks amazing, whether it be his interviews, whether it be some of the things that he does on the field, some of the things are subtle, but he always lands it. That's part of his personality. Where does that come from?
I think, you know, maybe growing up and being around so many sports from a young age, he sees that confidence is almost a prerequisite for being successful. So at an early age, he became a quarterback, and he's always known that a quarterback has to show leadership, and part of that, or a big part of the leadership, is confidence. And he's had some games where things don't go well, and he's able to really forget about it. I mean, the first game of this year, he throws the first time ever 4 interceptions, and then he throws to Jamar the last play of the game to we thought win it, but we had the extra point block. And then any of these games this year, there's been roadblocks. They haven't been as explosive as last year, but you know, people say when he goes to the bench, and you can always, if you're watching TV, you can really never tell whether he did throw his second interception or his second touchdown. I think that's a good trait, but really that's really just always been his personality.
Coach, you talk about him growing up as a kid. He had the 2 older brothers. You talk about him being confident. Is there a specific instance that you can point back to as his dad with him growing up where you're like, all right, this kid's a little different. He's a little unwavered by things that happen, that you just saw something in him that said, you don't usually see this in kids?
I think there was a basketball game. Maybe he was, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade maybe, and I think we were like 7 points down with 2 minutes to go, and all of a sudden he scores 9 points straight and hits 2 critical free throws at the end of the game, and you just go, you know, that's probably not normal, but it happened. And then 2, I mean, they put him at quarterback when he was in 3rd grade, and all of a sudden you see a 3rd grade quarterback in shotgun and spread offenses and giving him 2 plays, and he either, if the box is full, he throws it to the quick screen outside. It's an empty set, and then if there's nobody, if everybody's out there, he taps the center and he goes 70 yards on a quarterback sneak. So those were things that you just kind of look at and go, yeah, those are cool things, but probably not normal for a 3rd or 4th grade.
So, Coach,
so you're trying to tell me? Wait, you're telling me he was calling audibles in 3rd or 4th grade?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, they would go to what they call a diamond set to the outside. He had this set of twins that were really his best friends, and they would be, one of them would be in the diamond as a blocker, and the other one would be behind. And literally, if there was nobody over the center, he would tap him and run a quarterback sneak. He was under center.
God, that's so great.
If they were all in the box, he would throw the quick screen. So they were giving him 2 plays. And I see him out there now. They give him 2 plays sometimes, and certainly LSU did that a lot. And but he's been doing it a long time.
Right.
Spread, shotgun, 3rd and 4th grade. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Coach,
Go ahead.
Coach, I think if he could handle 2 plays in 3rd grade, he could certainly handle it in the NFL at this point.
Yeah.
What you did was raise a monster is what you did. You did this. You created this.
Well, We would watch film some. A lot of people think we just grinded on film study all the time. We really didn't. I didn't get to see all of his games, especially third and fourth, fifth grade, sixth. They were not always on a Sunday. But we would watch some film and talk about coverages every now and then, but we'd kind of make it a fun deal. I never wanted him to think, hey, my defensive coordinator dad's coming to put me into shape here and tell me what I did wrong. And he was at almost every game that I coached here at Ohio University, home and away. So, and knowing that I was responsible for the safeties and the whole defense, I think he spent a lot of time, watching defenses, because that's what I coached, and I think he learned a lot from all those games.
He's obviously a special player. He's special from a young age, as you said. But part of what makes him special is the things that he's done off the field, right? He hasn't, he's kind of all business when you see him on TV and when you see him in interviews, but then he goes to his Heisman speech and he talks about Ohio and the hunger and helping people that are in need. And he started the Joe Burrow Foundation, and I know that you're doing a lot of work with him with the Joe Burrow Foundation. Can you talk a little bit about that? Why did it start? What is it benefiting, and how can people get involved?
Well, I think that 31 seconds of his Heisman speech that he devoted to food insecurities in Athens and Southeast Ohio. The next day, they started a GoFundMe that's now with the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund, $1.8 million.
Wow.
So he realized, at that point that he had a platform, and if he used that platform for good, then there was a lot of good families that could benefit from that. So he wanted to start the Joe Burrow Foundation. That's different than the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund, because now we can target other areas besides just really Athens County. And he for sure said he wanted to give back to Baton Rouge in that area and Cincinnati and surrounding areas. He would tell you that this whole thing, from being drafted number one to his success to being able to have this platform and help other families is all directly, it's responsible because of the things that happened at LSU. Coach O gave him a chance, and none of this would have happened, without that. So he's excited. We're providing resources and opportunities to the underserved and the underprivileged, with emphasis on food insecurities and also children's mental health. And you can go to joeburrow.org. We've had a great response, not only from people in Louisiana, but from Ohio and really everywhere. So we're excited to move forward with this.
That's actually really cool. As we're sitting here talking about this thing and kind of seeing where things, I guess you can say, started for you guys as a family, as Joe's grown up and as Joe's gotten to where he's gotten, is it something that you kind of sit back and look at sometimes and kind of can't believe where it's going to, or is it kind of something you kind of saw this thing manifesting and growing pretty much the whole way through?
Oh, really every day I something happens and I think, it's crazy, and no, you could never have predicted it. Today we just paid off our first order of business with the foundation. We paid off 20 families' medical bills for their kids with mental illness diagnosis and treatment over in Cincinnati. And you go, Joe's really put ourselves in a position to do this. We feel fortunate and blessed as a family. But no, I always thought he'd be a really, really good quarterback and could play Division I. I kind of saw that as he did grow up, especially 10th grade, started thinking he can play Division I football. But to have the impact that he does over not only just young people, but really fans of all ages. And somebody said, well, why is that? And I just think whether he's in LSU or at Ohio State, Athens High, Cincinnati, he has an ability to relate to his fans, and those fans have the ability to relate to him. So, they like what they see in Joe, and his personality really, as we talked about, never really changes. I think people like that. He didn't go crazy on Twitter and Facebook. He posts things that he thinks out, some social issues that he gets involved in. And really, even though people may not, including myself, always agree with his stance on something, everybody respects the fact that he's willing to speak out. Yeah. So we do have to pinch ourselves about every day when these things happen.
Well, it's well deserved. You can kind of see it on the field, the way he plays the quarterback position, the way his team gravitates towards him, and the way he kind of is. He's extremely talented, but almost like a grinder, right? Like no matter what's going on, whether it's good or bad, he's always going to keep pushing forward. And I think the fans, at least me in particular, I like to see that because it kind of shows his personality off the field, on the field, and then you can tell it's the same guy. So, he's an extremely special person. You've done an unbelievable job of raising him, and I know that he's, y'all are extremely close, and y'all have gotten advice. Here's what I want to ask you about the football side of it, though. You talked about you're a defensive coordinator. He grew up watching the defensive side of the football, and that's maybe has some merit to how good he is as far as understanding schemes and things like that. What is your take on the roughing the passer penalties right now in the NFL? Because I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of different takes on it, and I think they're pretty much all around the same area.
Well, it's a thin line. As a defensive coordinator, I probably would say it's gone a little too far. But every time Joe gets hit, I want a flag. So
he doesn't.
I'm kind of speaking out both sides of my mouth, but I get it. They're protecting the quarterbacks. Quarterback is in a defenseless position, and let's face it, people are paying a lot of money to watch the quarterbacks. But there's times, a couple of those, this last Sunday, you just go, I just don't know what that defensive guy could have done to avoid that. So, but come Sunday in the Superdome, they barely touched Joe. I'm going to be screaming, roughing the passer. So if our guys get called, then my defensive coordinator hat's going to be on, and I'm not going to be very happy. But, it's part of what all of football is moving towards, and that's the safety, protecting really all the players, whether it's hitting a receiver, defenseless, chop blocks, those type things. And I think overall it's for the good of the game.
Coach, I appreciate your time. I know we started a little late. I only have a couple more questions for you. I'm not going to take too much of your time.
Yeah.
The NFL is a very tough league to not only excel in, but to progress in, right? Everybody sees kind of your pitfalls and your weaknesses, and they make the adjustments, and it's up to you to adjust to them. What have you seen over the course of Joe's career, young career, the way he's adapted to the game, right? Obviously, his first year he got hurt. He comes back. He makes it to the Super Bowl. This year, teams are making the adjustment to him as far as, hey, we're not going to let you beat us deep. We're going to treat you like the Patrick Mahomes, and we're going to make you be patient, go and dink and dunk underneath. How have you seen his progression, and does that sometimes frustrate him that, man, like I know that we have so much more ability, but there's nothing that we can do right now?
Well, he's been fortunate that he's had great coaches, and that really started in third grade. So, you had Coach Ensminger and Joe Brady and Coach O that taught him a lot about playing quarterback in the very tough SEC. Then you get in the NFL, and you got to get used to the speed of the game, and that'd be the one thing that he tells you he probably didn't expect. Even though he played in the SEC, then you go to another level. But yeah, he has to adapt. It's not easy for him because he and Jamar have always been so explosive. You got T. Higgins. T. Higgins didn't play much the other day, so that hurt us. But he's had to learn to adapt to what the defense is showing you. It's interesting. This is a credit really to Jamar and Joe and the Bengal offense. They never see on Sundays really what's been on film the previous several games. So, for example, the Ravens usually play a lot of coverages that they never even saw on Sunday. So there's a learning curve that starts right away, and Jamar's part of that. He has to learn too, which he's doing a better job, as well as Joe, of not getting frustrated and taking what they're giving us. And then I think everybody understands the importance of running the football. Joe, for sure, too. And, we ran the ball better the other day. That opens up the defense. They have to drop a safety down. We're getting a lot of too deep, and we're getting a lot of quarter, half, which is a defensive term that they're rolling up to Jamar when he's on the single season receiver side, and they're playing soft quarters on the three speed side. So, it's still, but it's a credit to those guys, because nobody's going to sit there and play our guys straight up man to man the whole game. Nobody really ever blitzes too much, and it's something that they got to continue to work on and adapt to.
Coach, I don't know if you saw the video that came out of your son where it seems like he may be a little bit scared of just, I guess, allergies in general.
Trash bags or whatever.
Was that a bug?
No, there was a reporter that just hit him with just a hellacious cough
Mid-question.
in the middle, and everybody was like, wait, and made people turn their heads that maybe Joe might be a little bit normal because he actually flinched for once. So if you pass it on to Joe, say 2 for flinching from me, no big deal. Just pass it on, because I've never seen the guy flinch in a moment before.
Who knows? I mean, he's pretty much got a one-track mind.
Yes.
Those media events, I wouldn't say they're his favorite thing. It's part of being the quarterback after the game and on Wednesdays, and he's on Colin Cowherd now with a podcast, so he's pretty media savvy right now. But I'll have to go back and look at that and see what that issue was.
Hey, let's coach him up. You got to correct it.
That's it.
Coach, I got something for you, because this is something
Okay.
I feel like needs to be said to you. In a world of, being around his peers, in a world full of alpha males, I think one of the biggest compliments to Joe and to you and to your family, because of how you guys were able to raise him, is that he's turned Cincinnati into a desirable place for players to go and play, and people to want to be there because they understand what's there and what he stands for and how he's changed the face of that culture and that environment and that organization. And, from the outside looking in, also being here still, if you show up to anywhere that's playing NFL football on a Sunday, there is a Joe Burrow following that wants to watch his games. And I think the biggest compliment to that is to him and what he's done is knowing that he's changed the face of that place. And that's a compliment to you guys as a family.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. He takes his leadership responsibility. He takes it very seriously. He really turned Athens High School around. You saw what he did at LSU, and I say he, but he'd be the first to tell you, those are team efforts and coaching staff efforts. But he's always had the ability, seems like, and it's still happening, to raise everybody on his team, to raise their level of play. And I think, that's the sign of a good leader. It's just like he says with his foundation, everybody has the responsibility to do good. He would tell you that every quarterback has the responsibility to make his teammates better. And I think he takes anything like that as a leader of his foundation, or as the leader of a football team, as a quarterback. He understands that that's a big part of what you need to be successful.
Coach, he didn't turn around the whole city. He turned around the whole franchise. They're practicing indoors for the first time.
They finally got one. They finally got indoors.
Got off the wallet a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing. We were at a tailgate the other day. We have one before every game, and one of our friends had a family come to the tailgate, and as a group, they said, "Hey, it's the Burrow family just looked for the number 9 jerseys," and he said he was crossing the bridge and he looked down where our tailgate was, and there were thousands of number 9 jerseys.
Where's
You
Waldo?
can't just look for hours. That it's amazing. We still see number 9 LSU jerseys. And where we sat the other day at the Ravens game, there were 2 guys with Burrow number 9 jerseys on that were separate. They sat separately. They weren't together. and at halftime they were getting together and getting pictures with their number 9 LSU jersey.
That's
so
awesome.
it's going to be interesting Sunday because there's going to be, again, although they're Saints fans, there's still going to be thousands of LSU number 9s and Bengal number 9s. And we may roll out with our LSU number 9s on Saturday and our Bengal number 9s on
There you
Sunday.
go. There you go. It's
to be determined. So
that's the beauty of Louisiana. You embrace Louisiana, and Louisiana's going to embrace you no matter where you go, even if you're playing against Louisiana's team. Coach, I appreciate your time.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're going to be in the number this weekend in New Orleans.
yeah, we'll be there. And before I go, let me just say this: the Joe Burrow Foundation. If you want to donate, go to joeburrow.org. Anybody that does, and as I said, we've had a great response. Then Joe considers them a part of his team, part of his foundation's team, and I know Louisianans are going to be awesome in their support, and we're going to do a lot down there to help. We got a great advisory board that's being set up, and we look forward to New Orleans, and we're looking for a big win. Joe's favorite team used to be the Saints. He used to have, of course, number 9. You've heard him talk about Drew Brees. That's one of the 4 jerseys he has framed in his house. Is Drew's that they shared. He has the Burreaux,
That's awesome.
Drew Brees number 9. He has his national championship jersey and has a Bengal number 1 that he was given the day of the draft. So he had a Reggie Bush jersey growing up. So he's going to know it's special when he walks into that stadium.
I bet. I can't wait to watch it. JoeBurrow.org if you want to donate, if you want to contribute. There's a lot of good things going. We're going to post it all over social media for you. I appreciate your time. We'd love to have you back on at some point. And, best of luck to you. Best of luck to Joe. And we'll be watching on Sunday. I think we froze. We got through it, though.
I think he's going to pump the Joe Burrow Foundation
That's
a little
it.
bit more
I
somewhere
like that.
else.
I like that, Joe. Listen, we jumped right. Listen, we had a lot going on pre-show, trying to figure this thing out. Lloyd did a lot of work. Look, the beauty of having 2 studios now is if one craps out, you got the other one.
I don't know what
Right?
happened in that other
I
one.
don't know what
Gotta
happened.
figure it out.
I don't know. We got new studio, new problems. We're gonna figure them out.
Mo studio, mo problem.
Mo studio, mo problems. We're here, so we didn't really get to go through the Heineken headlines. We have another interview following, literally right now. We're a little late. Is he still good to go?
Yeah, he should be logging in.
We're gonna have Danny McRae, 5 year,
This is actually funny. I see his name, but it's Jimmy Burrow's picture, not Danny McRae.
5-year NFL vet, national champion here at LSU. Was on Survivor 41. Did not win it. Came out 6th, but followed that up with the challenge. He is the champion of the challenge that recently just finished. I think about a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago.
About a month ago. He's also the guy who used to shut Jared Mitchell down in practice.
Nah, that's a lie. He know better than that.
So we're gonna.
That's a lie right there.
We're gonna talk about that. He also was the guy who really was right before the nickel position became really the nickel position.
Before people knew what the nickel position was.
Yeah.
He was,
and that's what they put him at. So he's got a great story. Undrafted free agent, played 5 years in the NFL, made a great career, and now obviously he's just still a champ, winning stuff on TV, stuff that I couldn't even fathom. I don't want any part of the challenge.
I'm
Survivor.
going nowhere near
Listen, I'm gonna watch him do that on TV. I ain't gonna touch that. Is he in?
I'm waiting for him to join in. His name is showing up, but he isn't showing up yet on the video. So sometimes it takes a second for them to. You got to do like some, finagling on your end because the phone asks for a lot of permissions.
Yeah.
That sometimes people don't want to give out. You don't want to see. I don't want you to see me or hear me.
Yeah.
But I want to be on. It's like chat roulette.
Let's go through a little bit of the Heineken headlines I want to get into now after these interviews are going, right? So we had 2 big interviews today. We had obviously Jimmy Burrow, Coach Burrow, Joe Burr's dad, Joe Cool's dad.
Big Joe.
Yeah, that's what you call it to dad.
That's the non-family.
That's the non. I'm not going to bring that up to his dad.
Maybe on time 5 we have him.
Yeah, but we have some LSU football talk. Will Campbell is back in practice playing. He is going to be playing this weekend. Big, huge to have him back in the lineup. We're going to get into that. LSU had another team meeting, players only team meeting, which
What are y'all doing?
we're gonna get into that too, because I think that there's a thing we have a former LSU guy with some tweets that are raising some eyebrows. Michael Thomas for the Saints is not playing again this week. I don't know what's going on with him. And if you're wondering, the baseball playoffs are still electric.
Started out
Unbelievable.
with a bang.
Jackie's
guy
Braves.
Gossman, man.
Jackie's Braves are.
Ain't sweating it over here.
Hey, look, I love the false
It only
confidence.
takes
over
one
there.
more for you to start
What
sweating.
do you
Hey.
mean false confidence? We won it all last year.
This is-
we
hey,
this
won
is-
the division. We're
This
the
is
better
a
team.
five-game
What do you mean?
series. One game
Yeah.
is big.
And not having both
know.
aces. Both aces did not have to. Neither one of them had to pitch the first one.
So
You
they
gotta
get a
win
chance to finish it off.
Got to win 3.
All right.
Yeah, you do.
We'll
I'm not saying they're going to,
I'm
but it ain't
sensing
going to be.
some
As,
false confidence
We'll
over
see,
there.
right? A little
I am.
bit.
There's
Little
little
bit. It's
nerves
okay.
over there.
it's okay. It's okay.
How about Joe? How about Jimmy? being like, I can hear him just fine.
Yeah.
Sounds like me and him are about to have a little 60 minutes.
I mean,
Where do you think that would have gone?
Wire was I don't know what's going on. Maybe I didn't have. Maybe my wire wasn't. Did I plug
No, we
one
hooked up
that-
the wrong
Plugged
one.
it in.
I don't know,
Maybe
did
you
I have
hooked
one
up
that
the-
wasn't plugged in?
Maybe we got the no. Maybe they both were plugged in. Maybe we had the two switched.
Maybe so.
But
Maybe so.
it might be. I've had trouble with that wire in the past. Shelton
bad wire.
Sampson interview.
Bad wire.
Got stepped on right after the commitment, and
We
we
probably
couldn't
should
hear
take that. We
Shelton.
probably should take that wire out of the room.
Yeah, but we need it because it works most of the time because we only have 4.
Oh, it works most of the time. So it's just
Yeah.
okay.
So I usually
Flip
give it
of
to
the coin.
myself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sacrifice.
Yeah, that's sacrifice.
Stephen
Good
A.
player.
Smith apparently is hearing, in quotes, that
He's got big LSU.
BK is in trouble, right? Which, listen, Stephen A. Let's stick to talking about basketball and the
Shut
Dallas
the fuck up.
Cowboys and the other stuff, and
You
let's
think
not
Jack
worry
likes him?
about
Yeah, getting your
let's not worry
asshole
about the
licked.
college football stuff because I mean,
Well,
and
not
then
LSU
I will say this:
football,
Paul Feinbaum came on today. Like when he brought that up, Paul Feinbaum corrected him. He was like, "Listen, I think you need to pump the brakes a little bit about Brian Kelly." And Paul did a good job of kind of highlighting of how difficult of a job it's been. Basically highlighting like, hey, he's doing pretty fine, doing pretty well. You know, it's okay. Should we tell him to log off and log back on?
I'm emailing him right now.
Talking about Stephen A. or the
Oh no, Stephen A. is getting his taint licked right now.
Whoa.
Did you see that interview?
Uh-uh.
Well, he was on a podcast and they were asking him if he eats ass, and he was like, no. Like, and then some girls like, do you get your ass eat? And he's like, no comment.
Wait, Stephen A. said this?
Whoa.
So that's what Stephen A's. I mean, I don't think he was watching LSU too much. I think he's preoccupied.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, man.
Whatever you're into, Stephen A.
love is love.
Love is love.
Different strokes for different folks.
That ain't stroking, coach.
We don't know what it turns into.
Who's doing it? I guess Stephen A's got game. He's not married, is he?
I don't know. Is he?
You don't out your.
Also, I do have a question. I have a question about this players. We were talking about it, right? But part of the notes that we have gotten from this players only meeting is one of the people who stood up to speak in this players only meeting was Nussmeier, and I'm confused as to not why. I mean, I guess if you have something to say it. But like, is that like a
No, there's Danny.
thing? I don't know. We'll get into that.
I don't know.
We'll get
Well,
into
I
that.
think the way that the quote was portrayed was easy to be misconstrued. He said a lot of people spoke up, and he listed and even some veterans, and Garrett Nussmeier stood up, even though he has nothing to do with like special teams. He was just saying
Right.
the leadership on the team.
I was just about to say, I will say, I think this too at a time where there's a lot of new people in the building, and I think a lot of people are trying to,
Find their voice.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe.
Let's take a 30-second break. Let's get Danny locked in so we don't have to do
We
the
need to find a
thing
new
on
special
air.
team coordinator.
That was oof.
We did it, though. We got it. You're watching Mik'd. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We will be back in 30 seconds. Today's show is brought to you by Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs. Hold 16 beers, easy to tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become a life of the party. You're welcome.
Yeah. I'm Nah, yeah, no, of course. Of course. Gotta do this before we get out. Huh? I'll take that. If it's my only one, I'll take it. That shit was hard, man.
Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. I am excited to welcome in Danny McRae, 5-year NFL vet, champion at LSU, champion of the challenge, also a 6th place finisher of the Survivor 41, which at 6th place is way better than
Way more places than I would ever
way more than I would have. Also, the guy used to shut down Mitch at practice.
Now we lying. Here we go with the lies. Now we
Back
go with
in
the
the
lies.
day. Danny, bro, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you for having me. Listen, I understand my 1 year with the Bears, it doesn't count. So I'll take my 5 years with the
Hey, 6 years. That's my bad. That's on me. 6 years. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm from Lafayette, bro. I can't count. I can't. Sometimes I get lost, all right? I get lost.
Listen, it's all good. Listen, I've never locked Mitch down in practice.
See, there we go.
I probably locked him out of the house a few times.
That definitely happened. That was for sure happened.
That's it. Hey, I do. Before we get started into the other questions, hey, is Jared Mitchell the one guy? He's the one guy that I've met. If you don't talk to him for 30 seconds, he's sleeping. He can sleep standing up. He can sleep sitting down. You can be in a conversation with him, and all of a sudden you don't answer. He's sleeping.
Damn.
Did he do that? He do that for you too?
Nah, see, because when I see Mitch, we be out. So if he falls asleep, he in trouble. When we was roommates, he knows not to fall asleep nowhere but in his bed. Because if that was the case, he was in trouble.
That was just the room period, though. That was all three.
I probably should be more interested to keep him awake. That's probably my issue. That's probably my issue.
I don't think he was what you were looking for.
Danny, let's talk about this, man. Look, people know kind of where you've been. Tell people where you've been, what you've been doing. What are you up to now? Obviously, you're on Survivor 41. That was in 2021. And then you just won the challenge. Talk about, where you're at now and what you're doing.
Yeah, so after I was done with football, it was 2015. Went back to school, got my MBA, started watching Survivor, and as I was watching it, just like any competitor, I'm just sitting there like, man, I could do that. I think I'll be good at that. And the more seasons I watched, the more I got that itch to be like, all right, let me try it out. So I ended up going on Survivor. Of course, I finished 6th place. I didn't survive. But I think I was very, very close to getting that dub. So I'm happy with my performance. But as soon as that show went off, sat down, the final happened, and then they called me and was like, let's go on the challenge. Now, keep in mind, at this time, now I'm at my current job of working with the Dallas Cowboys, running the youth football program. So we have a bunch of youth camps that we do during the summer, very entrenched in the high school football landscape here, and doing a few other things with sponsorship as well for the organization. So I'm doing that and then also getting the call to go on the challenge at the same time. And thankfully, my 5 years with the Cowboys, I built some great relationships, and they allow me to go pursue those opportunities, and then also come back and still have a job when I'm done.
What goes into training for that? Like, how do you train? Like, how do you train for Survivor or the challenge? Like,
don't eat for 6 days.
I don't understand.
Nah. So I a lot of puzzles while I was at home trying to make sure I had that part of the game right. And then it was during COVID. So what I would do was I didn't have to go to work. So I would wake up, I would eat like a bowl of oatmeal in the morning, and I would try to do my whole entire day on that one bowl of oatmeal. So I'd do a workout, I'll go run some miles, and then I'll see if my attitude changed.
Yeah, you'd have to shit outside. Yeah.
Multiple miles in the heat, just to see, if I could still function, without having that many calories. And also, learn how to start fires and see if I could build a shelter and stuff like that. But Yeah, I mean that's as much as you can do.
And I tell you what, if I would die in the first day.
That's
I have
over
no
for me.
chance.
I'm not on Survivor.
No chance.
But that just like, all right. So this is what you're doing to prepare for it. Survivor, it happens. You're actually there. Y'all are filming, shows going on. What's the one day y'all got to while you're on the show, and they're telling y'all, wait, this is what you're gonna have to do. This is what you have to do. And in the back of your mind, you're like, hell nah, man, I ain't doing it. I can't believe I'm about to have to do that. What's the one that hit you like that?
No, peep this. Okay, so we did it during COVID, right? So I had to do it was 16 days of quarantine, 2 days in LA, 14 days in Fiji. And then we check out of the hotel in Fiji. And then I'm like, okay, we about to start the game. I didn't know about this thing that they have called pregame, where they try to get you acclimated to living on the island. And we walk up and we see all these hotel rooms at this island called Malolo. And I'm like, okay, we finna sleep in the resort, do our press day and stuff. They're like, nah, y'all not sleeping there. They walk us back, and they got this thing called Tent City, where it's 18 tents and one for each contestant. And we lived in those tents for like 8 days. So I was like, man,
like when you say live, what you mean lived in it?
Man, that's where our bed was. That's where all our luggage was. We had our one towel to dry off with. We had our one towel to bathe with. And, they woke us up in the morning. We'd go eat lunch. And then when you wanted to go back and rest, you took your butt back to your damn tent. And you slept on that little light mattress that they had in there. I'm talking about in the middle of the night, you could hear frogs like bumping into the tent and stuff. This night, it was that was the moment I was like, yeah, this shit is real.
That I have no shot. I have no shot.
Nah, coach.
No way.
No chance.
Well,
Y'all be surprised, man. Y'all competitors.
Yeah, but
I don't want to compete in that.
yeah. I used to watch the American Ninja Warrior, and I said, I think I could do that. And then I realized, like, damn, these dudes are like 175 pounds. No way I can do that. I'm too heavy to do that. I don't think I can hold myself up for that long.
Hey, wait.
Yeah, that's not for us.
Okay, so
No.
Okay, so here's the thing. So you living outside. Wait, so talk to me. You living outside. You got one bed. You got one towel. You got a little tent. Y'all ain't eating much. Do you remember what you went in weight wise and what you left at weight wise?
Yes, I went in at 214, and I was on the island for 23 or 24 days, and when I got out, I was 190.
Wow.
Great diet.
Are you back up there? Are you back up?
Bro. No, yeah, I'm at 225
There
now.
you go.
I can't listen. And that's what they don't tell you. When you get home, like, you have this urge to eat everything, bro. I was ordering all type of stuff on Uber Eats. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Cinnabon and new cinnamon roll places and ice cream and Bahama Bucks. I'm eating if I'm in the grocery store, I'm like just grabbing everything off the aisle. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on with me? But I'm trying to put that weight back on, but it just never stopped.
How long was the total amount of time that you were on the island?
On the island, I was on the island for 23 days. I was gone from home for 55 days.
Wow. Crazy.
Wait, I got one more question about Survivor. What kind of competitor were you on there? What kind of teammate were you? Because there's a lot of strategy that goes into these games.
I don't know.
And the way that the TV can paint it, you could be seen as either somebody that's kind of moving in the shadows a little bit, or a good teammate. How were you like publicly perceived?
I'm impressed by your knowledge of Survivor. Actually.
Absolutely.
Before you even answer that, like as just so y'all know, like I'm watching the show.
You lived with them.
No. Well, the first few episodes I'm watching the show, and if you don't know anything about it, like you kind of have to reveal stuff, right? And so I'm watching it. The cat's out the bag now, obviously, but like he's having to basically tell them like they don't know he's a former professional football player. So I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh, this is crazy as hell.
Man, he's really good at this athletic stuff.
It was. Yeah, I think I would say that I was a good teammate. Just trying to kind of be friends with everybody, make sure everybody trusted me. Everybody knew that I was loyal, so they would come bring me that information. Like Jared said, I never told them that I play NFL football, so I think that was like the only lie that I ended up telling on the island, and I think that's why I got so far. But if you've ever seen the show, it takes no athletic ability to finish or compete in some of those challenges. Yeah. So I only won one individual, but my team, we won every challenge. So
which means he's a great teammate, Lloyd. Great teammate.
I was a great teammate.
A+ teammate.
I was pushing.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about football. I shortchanged you 1 year in the NFL. That was my bad. 6 year.
I want to forget that year too, though. I want to forget that year.
You're calling that late
done.
God damn.
6 year vet. Let's talk about a little bit about the journey to the NFL. You're an undrafted free agent. When you were at LSU, you had, I think, 13 or 14 starts, but you played in a ton of games. You were that nickel corner guy before the nickel corner was like,
Defined.
yeah, like kind of what it is now, right? Like now the nickel corner is more of a true cornerback because of the way the NFL is, and it's a passing league. But you were undrafted. You got to the NFL. You played. You had a very successful career in the NFL. You played 6 years. Talk a little bit about that journey, and what do you contribute that to?
LSU, man. Listen, so you're in high school, right? Then you get recruited. You go to LSU, and in high school, you the man, right? So then I get to LSU, and my freshman year, a guy named Daniel Francis, he goes down. He gets hurt, right? So now they got me in as a starting nickel, which at that time was essentially a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm in there, I'm playing, and doing pretty well. End of the season comes, and they decide they want to – he's a senior, so they put him back in the Ole Miss game. So I had my little taste of being in the lineup. We go back into the next season, and I think I cracked the starting lineup for a little bit. I think that's a national championship year. Played a little bit more with Bo Pelini. So everything's riding high, doing great, having hell of a years, interceptions, sack force fumbles, all that good stuff. Then junior year comes, and then it starts going down a little bit, right? I think we get like 2 5-star recruit safeties, maybe Chad and a guy named Craig Lawson. So I lose my starting job. I earn it back in the middle of the season, so I'm hyped, and then I lose it again. So super emotional roller coaster going on with my college career. Then we get to senior year, and I'm pretty much just playing special teams. So I started seeing. So Jared had gotten drafted, right. And then my other roommate was Perry Riley. So I started seeing him get all this draft, financial advisor stuff, and all. I'm like, man, I'm getting left behind here. And I literally asked him. I said, hey, man, do you think I should even go out and like try to find the agent or try to do pro day, any of that stuff? I think football is done for me. He was like, hell nah, man. You 225 pounds, you fast, you know how to hit, you got to try. Somebody's going to pick you up. So literally that close away from being like I'm done with football. I go in, I don't pay for any training. I just go with Coach Moffitt, and he kind of works me out with Earl, who is the other strength trainer. And I go to pro day. End up running a 4.4, bench 225 like 24 times. Got on the kind of in the vision of some of the NFL people. So at this point, I'm like, okay, man, I might get drafted. Like I went from like not wanting to play to I might get drafted. So watched the entire draft. Seeing all my friends get drafted again, I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen for me. Cowboys called me at the end of the 7th round to let me know that they might not be able to draft me, but they want to bring me in for a workout. They're gonna pay me $5,000, grandson. That's the biggest sum of money that I had ever gotten in my life. So I was ready. $5 grand. I didn't know about
Coach. I'm still waiting on it.
I feel that. I feel that for sure.
So luckily, I think sometimes things just work out, right? So I get to Dallas. That was the only team that called me. They had a special teams coach named Joe DeCamillis who was watching another player on LSU, and he just so happened to see me keep flashing on film. So that's how I ended up in Dallas. The safety that they drafted in the 4th round is hurt. He's not going to be able to go through OTAs, minicamp, or training camp. The veteran guys are all injured. So me and another guy named Barry Church are the only 2 safeties in OTAs and minicamp. So we get to show our stuff the entire time. And it literally worked out for us, right? The vets stayed hurt, so they needed more safety. So me and the guy Barry, we both ended up making a team as special teams players, and we just kind of worked our way up from there. I ended up starting like 13 games one season. Lost that job again, man. Shout out to RG3 and Alfred Morris for ruining my start. And that RG was vicious.
Vicious. Now everybody's doing it.
Vicious. It was vicious. Then Jody Camillus leaves and goes to Chicago. I'm pissed off at Dallas because they made me take a pay cut on my tender year. So I'm like, forget y'all. I'm out. Go to Chicago. And we win a total of 5 games. The year before, We had went 8-8 3 years in a row in Dallas, and we lost the last game of the season every year to go to the playoffs. So we lost to the Giants one year, we lost to Washington one year, then we lose to Philly one year. Last game of the season that sends us to the playoffs. And then I go to Chicago, who had just gone to the playoffs. We go 5-11. Dallas goes like 12-4. And they go, and it's the Dez Cohen game, I believe. I'm like, okay, all right. I need to go back to Dallas. Go back to Dallas. Dallas goes 4-12 while I'm there.
So you're saying that you're just bad luck. That's what you're saying.
It must be me. Because
You wasn't living right. Something had to change.
Yeah, that's my last year, right? Tony Romo gets hurt. He breaks his collarbone. He comes back. He breaks his collarbone again. And then that's my final year, and I'm sitting on the couch in 2016, and these dudes go 13-3. So yeah, man, that was it for me. It was up and down. I made it 6 years, and like I said, I was that close to not even trying to play football. So God blessed me with the opportunity. I think I maximized it to the best of my ability, and then, on came reality TV.
Well, so then tell us about. It's so funny you bring the name up. We sat there and we looked at the name. Joe DeCamillis, what does he mean to you? What has he done for your career? What does that person mean to you in your life?
I'll tell you this. Me and Jody are like friends.
Yeah.
So we can go out to have a drink, text each other, hey, make sure everybody's all right and that type of stuff. But when I first got there, he literally pulled me to the side. He pointed out the guy that I needed to beat out, the position that he played, and told me exactly what I needed to do to make the team. Right, and he made sure that it was a coach with me the entire OTAs, the entire minicamp, to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do to beat this guy out. And I ended up beating him out. And I would say I was probably the only rookie undrafted free agent on the team to not have to play in the final preseason game of the season because he's like, hey, we need you to be rolling. We need you to be rolling. So he took care of me for my entire career. When I went to Chicago, he talked me into coming, so he made sure that he took care of me while I was there. And then we just remained friends after that. So Joe DeCamillis, for my career, if it wasn't for him, like seeing me while he was watching, I think it was Perry actually. He was watching Perry Riley play on film. If he didn't see me, then nobody would have given me a call, given me a shot. So he believed in me. He wanted to see me succeed. He gave me all the tools and all the opportunities to do so. So I am forever indebted to Joe DeCamillis. And he's a great guy, man. I love Joe D. Jay Mitch, Pivotal, he's a more sane and put together Pivotal.
That's tough.
Bradley Dale.
That's crazy, yeah.
Hey, talk about a little bit how rare that is, though, because you talked about how he's a scout and he wanted the best for you, so he put you in a position to succeed. Right now, obviously, I didn't play in the NFL, but playing in Major League Baseball, you don't always get that.
That's not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal to have a coach or a scout say, hey, I want you to succeed, so I'm going to make sure I tell you what to do to succeed. Can you talk about how rare that is? And is it as rare in the NFL as I think it is in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I think it's very rare, but I think it's more rare amongst special teams players. When if you get around any NFL team, probably high school and college team as well, probably the most respected coach on the staff is the special teams guy, right? Because most of the time they keep it real. They see the guys who kind of fall by the wayside, and they have that underdog story, and they love an underdog. Why? Because they know you're going to give everything that you can, because they know that this is your last shot. So not as rare for him to come to me and say, hey, I want you to be that type of guy just because I was a special teams guy. But just like any job as well, if you hire somebody, then you want that person to succeed, right? You don't want to say, hey, man, I'm not able to scout and say that this guy's going to be good. Like, he saw me. He told them to go get me. So then it was kind of on him to prove that he was right in what he was saying. So it was kind of twofold. He cared about me, but then he also wanted me to do well because it showed that he knew what the hell he was talking about.
Right.
Hey, now, so let's flip this thing back to LSU a little bit, because I think this has been something that's been widely misunderstood when it comes to your career and your time here, and we touched on it a little bit just now. As you look at the nickel position and what it is today, and what you at 225 pounds was asked to do, basically playing the nickel position.
Cover Percy
then,
Harvin and those types of guys.
Does it make you look at the position and be like, man, I can't believe? Because when you're in it, like like you said, I'm a competitor. I could do it. It don't really matter what you're asking me to do. If they would have asked you to play the 3 tech and make sure you'd have said, all right, if this is what you're asking me to do, I'm going to go out here and do it to the best of my ability, right? But when you remove yourself from it and you are where you are now, you look back at what you were asked to do in those situations and what that position is today, how does that make you feel, and how does that make you look at that position and what that is now?
Man, you know what? The crazy part about that is, so you come in, I don't even know what a nickel was because we played pretty much all 21 person.
It wasn't really a thing like that, yeah.
It wasn't a thing, right? So I get there, I'm like, what the hell is this position, right? I'm splitting the tackle in a slot receiver. One, what the hell is a slot receiver, right? So I'm split out, and when I first came in, I was like 214, right? So I was a little faster. But then they started telling me as the nickel, you had to be able to play these zone coverages and then also fill the B gap. So I'm like, maybe I need to gain some weight because Saron Black came around the corner one time and just laid me out, right? So what the hell am I supposed to be doing? Well, we get into the season of my sophomore year, and that's when the game started changing, right? So you couldn't just play palms all day because people wanted to start playing 2-man. They wanted to play man-to-man so they could have an extra guy in the box. And the offensive coordinators were ahead of the defensive coordinators at this time. So that's why you see guys like, I think it was Dickie Lyons was at Kentucky. I think that was, I could be messing it up. Then you have guys like Percy Harvin, and these people are starting to run all 11. So essentially, I'm a starter. But I'm 225 now, so my covering skills and my speed have declined.
They're about 10 pounds less.
So when I'm going down the nickel, it's, man, I'm oversized and I'm a little slower than I need to be, and then I would get bumped back to playing strong safety, and it's a perfect size, and I'm just as fast as I need to be. But then I started playing nickel more. So I struggled, man. I struggled, and I see why. And I'm like, I should have never been down there.
You should have been outside. You're an outside backer of what they're doing now, kind of.
Hey, this is a sidebar. I don't even know if he actually remembers this. I'll never forget. So me and Danny came in together. We're both same age, same class, right? We living together. So we drew a special bond anyway, right? I can remember our freshman year. So you remember that same picture LaFell came on here and showed you? Us coming out. That same game, right? This is like Wednesday, Thursday. We're doing install. We're putting stuff in for the game that week. We cross each other in the hallway. They're coming out of the DB room. I'm coming out of the receiver room. It was probably like Monday or Tuesday. It's like one of the first days, when we first get to look at film of Florida. Now, they got all the names there, bro. At this time, they still got Tebow's there. Chris Leak is there. Cam Newton, before he stole the computers, is there. They got Harvin there.
Aaron Hernandez.
I mean, they have all of the names there, right? And so I asked him straight up. We're crossing each other. I think we're about to go into a different meeting. I'm like, hey, what they look like on film? And his answer to me, he looked at me, his eyes got big, and he goes, man, they got dudes going all over the place. I don't know what's going on. And so to myself, as I kept walking, I'm like, man, we've got to put up like 40 if we got a chance in this game.
Oh, dude, that's gotta be a bad feeling. Going like, damn, I gotta cover. Percy Harvin was probably the fastest guy in college football.
He was ridiculous. No, he was ridiculous,
bro. And that was like the beginning of the jet sweep and the lining up in trips closed and running to the trip side.
If people don't remember, this is literally the time Urban had just left Utah.
Yep.
Alex Smith got drafted 1 overall. So he brought that system to Florida with all of these absolute thoroughbreds running around. So there you go.
Man, that was a different monster, man. And then and then we played, just one more. We played cover 3 like man to man, right? So me as the nickel, if we play cover 3, I had to run with Percy Harvin everywhere except on a corner route. So I'm like, I'm essentially playing man to man in every coverage that we had except this thing called palms, which is kind of like a 2-to-1 read. But every time we played cover 2. I had to carry the seam, and then I pass them off later. But it was literally just man to man before man to man is what it is now. And I was like, man, y'all asking me to do it, bro, but I'm getting my ass cooked now.
Hey, tell me before we start talking about the current LSU team, right? So as an outfielder, that's the only thing I can compare. I mean, I played football coming up, but I obviously didn't play at LSU or in the NFL. But as an outfielder, as a center fielder, coming in and taking a bad read on the ball, then going back and realize, like, damn, I just got cooked by this. There's no shot. It's a terrible feeling. That's the only thing I can equate to. Damn, I got beat on a double move, and I'm trying to catch up, and I'm looking at the ball, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I'm done. Like, what is that feeling like and I don't want to, like, bring back any of this stuff, but it's just, I've been there. You know, like, I'm going to catch this ball, I'm like, oh, shit, I got it.
And Danny, I had to watch that game, so, you know, we all feel bad.
Yeah. Nah, I'm assuming y'all talking about that Percy Harvin tip.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, anything, just really anything.
He doesn't catch that, the whole game changes.
So two things. Okay, the Percy Harvin tip, we're in cover 3. I'm playing underneath Percy Harvin. We're supposed to have a middle of the field safety, which is Curtis Taylor at the time, right? So I tipped this ball up, and I'm like, the dude either got to get hit or this got to be an interception.
Right.
What Curtis is, I have no idea what Curtis is. So actually, that's not even on me.
Right? No. And I know that. I wasn't really specifically pointing that play out. But you know, everybody that's played football long enough has gone through something like that.
Yeah, but listen. Let me tell you something. I've been in that situation so many times that now, when I finally got a hold of it, it's, hey man, you just can't panic when you get in that situation, right? Because what happens is somebody gets beat on a double move, and then they panic and they run, and then they pass interference. Yep. Instead of going to catch the guy and trying to get your head around or playing through his hands. So I had enough experience of getting beat on those moves and feeling like shit because I knew it was happening. So at the end of my career, it was like, I ain't panicking. You know what I'm saying? You can play through his hands or you got to catch up to him first. But the first few times, because it's college football. It's 100,000 people in the stands, and it starts getting quiet, and you hear that,
And I would imagine,
he's throwing it to my man. I know he's throwing it to my man.
I was about to say, I would imagine, too, as soon as you get beat on, like, a double move, you just feel like everybody in the stadium knows this man is wide open. There's no way the ball's not coming in.
You just hoping you look into the other side.
Somebody get to the quarterback, please.
I'm hoping
your hands go up, and you're like, oh, man.
I'm hoping nobody noticed, but it looks like everybody just noticing right now.
Everybody saw it.
All right, let's talk about. Have you been keeping up with the Tigers, like the this year's Tigers? I know, obviously, you went to LSU. The blood runs deep. When you come here, you're part of that fraternity. You're here always. Kind of have that special bond with the school, right? More so than a lot of other schools. Have you been keeping up with the team this year?
I keep up with them enough to know, that we won or lost, or how we ended up winning or how we lost. When we played Florida State, I was on vacation, so I didn't get to see it. But I got all the texts about special teams, and of course, everybody's going to text me about special teams. Right. So I'm like, oh man, like that's not a good way to start. But we were close and we had a shot. And then I think was Southern next.
Yeah, it was Southern next. Southern was the next game. Yeah.
Then it was Southern, and I was like, it's Southern, right? Right. So of course, and we better perform how we expect to. If not, then it's really worse than I thought.
Yep.
Then what's next? Mississippi State.
Yep, Mississippi
State. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, we might be all right. Because at the same time that we're beating Mississippi State, the Cowboys have a backup quarterback, and we're winning. Right. So I'm like, could this happen? Right? Could we get a new coach and then we could still win? Just how the Cowboys got a new quarterback and they're winning. So now I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and I'm drinking it heavy. So when we get into finally the Tennessee game, I'm glad I'm not allowed to bet on college sports because I would have been upset.
I was upset. If you're wondering, I was upset. I did bet, and I was upset.
Well, first I was more upset that we drew the 11 a.m. slot because I was coming to the game.
Yep.
But then I'm like, I'm glad we drew the 11 a.m. slot because how it ended up looking, it worked out for us. But that was probably the first time I was like, man, LSU was outmatched.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't watched the game and been like, man, Like, they have better athletes than we do. They're coached better than we are, like, across the board, until we played Tennessee. And I was like, man, okay, we actually do need that 3 or 4 years to see if Brian Kelly's going to be able to do what we hope he can. But I was drinking the Kool-Aid and saying, maybe we do it in the first year.
Yeah, I think everybody was. Look, I'm the most optimistic person in the world, so I get it. Now I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic. Let's talk a little bit about the special teams. Obviously, you know very well how important special teams are, right? What is, in your mind, the issue with the special teams right now? Obviously, muff punts and muff kicks, like, that's not coaching per se, right? Like, that's a guy just brain fart, whatever it is, miss it. But the coverage lapses, having 50-yard punt returns, not being able to cover guys on kickoff returns. What do you think is the issue there, and how do you get it fixed?
Man, look, I don't know any of the coaches there, so I don't want to, I don't like bashing guys.
Yeah,
but to be honest,
yeah, we're being honest. Be honest.
If I'm being honest, it's coaching.
Yeah.
Like, even to me, even your punt returner not being able to field punts, to me, is coaching, because what happens is, if a guy can't catch, he's not comfortable catching, he don't need to be out there. And these most of the time are things that you can see within practice, especially if you have a guy out there catching extra punts because he doesn't seem as comfortable as he should be. So at the end of the day, it is up to the coach to put guys out there. Even if they're not the best returner, it's a guy that has sure hands. And then you get to the coverage stuff is, man, one part of coverage is make sure you stand in your lane. Mm-hmm. The second part of coverage is, hey, man, you got to have some dogs out there that really have some incentive to go down there and make that tackle, right? Are people bought into your special teams unit, or do they feel like it's just something that is a stepping stone for them to do this and then move on to possibly being a starter? Right. When I was at LSU and when I was in the league, we had guys that were excited to be on special teams. Yeah. Like, it was – we were racing down the field. We were trying to see who was going to make that tackle. We were celebrating it as a team together because it was something that we really took pride in. And if you don't see that on your squad, then you got to find a way to get that type of buy-in. And then when you get to the field goal kicking, it's coaching. Like, when you get those blocked field goals, the way that they got it blocked, this is something that you should have repped so many times that guy just naturally in his mind, that's just a habit that he steps inside. He protects inside first and just gets a little tap on the outside. This is football 101. So the coaching, to me, seems to be the issue, from the inspiring guys to really want to go out there and make plays to also being technically sound.
Lloyd's very happy right now.
Yeah,
as you said
Lloyd loves everything. He literally is just tasting himself over there right now.
Post-coital.
Hey, as you talk about it, I mean, I think that's a great point you bring up, man. Like, if you watch their games right now, you see their special teams units go out there and you see them play. Whether they're making the plays or whether they're not, the one true thing I can take away from any team that I watch, especially like how special teams, the pride that was taken into special teams here in the past, and even if you watch teams in the league right now, the teams that are good at special teams, they are truly, truly, truly super excited when a play is made. Like, the whole unit. They take pride in that. They want to be out there. They see it as a stage for them and not as a like you said, a means to an end. Can you talk about that feeling of what that meant for you to be out there in those situations and how you viewed it?
Yeah, listen, I took it. One, I had been on that roller coaster. So at this point, I just want to play football, right? And what can I do to make sure that I'm on the field consistently, right? And that's perform to the best of my ability when they give me the opportunity to do it. And that was on special teams. And ironically, the more I played good on special teams, the more the coaches tried to get me out there on defense. Yep. One, because they knew I had the heart to go out there and put it on the line. And two, it was like, this dude got some ability to make tackles, and he knows the angles to get out there and probably make open field tackles as well. So we're going to give him a shot. The same thing happened for me in the league. I think, do you have a guy? That's why I tweeted. I was like, man, let me get in the room with the guys. I'm not saying I'm going to be a better special teams coach, but do you have a representation of a guy who made it the way that I did, or made it a Ron Brooks did, right? Who went out there, kicked ass on special teams, ended up in the league, and then being known for a guy who made it multiple years, got pension and everything, just because they were special teams guys. Everybody's not going to be a starter. Everybody's not going to have long careers and go to the Pro Bowl at the position that they want to play. But if you want to find you a niche, if you want to make it to the league and you're not a starter, then you need the ball out here on special teams because it is a real phase of the game that people really put value in. And if somebody's conveying that message to them, then yeah. And that's how I felt when I was out there. Hey, man, I just want to maximize my opportunity. My mom and them in the stands, my girlfriend in the stands. I need to make sure that when I get out there and the product I'm putting on the field, that they're going to be happy about seeing it. So that's how I took it in my mind. And you got to remember, Jay Mitch, we had me, we had Shep, we had Perry, we had Ja. Like, we had guys in there who were going to get you hyped anyways. And if you went out there and played like trash, you was going to get clowned in the film room. So it was not to go out there and make a play. I remember I got a punt block my freshman year, and literally we lined up, and the dude said, "Boo!" and I jumped on the first one, and I had a false start. And Perry laughed me all the way to my door, to WCA, and I ended up getting a punt block. And I'm feeling bad, and these dudes in here just laughing like, "Well, you couldn't block that dude, right?" So it was really that's their way of like holding you accountable to do the stuff the right way. So that's what we had while I was there.
Hey, if you are the coach in the special teams, do you bring the same energy Shep brings right there on the defense, on the linebackers coach in Detroit?
Yeah, no. Me and Shep have a different kind of leadership. I'm gonna bring the energy, but I'm gonna bring it in a different way. I think we got a different way of leading. But I love Shep on that show,
They highlighted him a lot. He looked good. He did good. He did some good stuff.
This is what Hard Knocks does to you, though. Okay, because then I go on my podcast and I'm like, "Hey, man, I love that coaching staff for Detroit. They're gonna make some noise this year. They're gonna make some noise. I'm telling you." I'm like, bro.
Might fire the whole staff.
Well, they made some noise. They're just not making no.
They got shut out.
Finishing with no W's right now.
They're back.
Same old Lions, huh? You can't figure out a way to win the close ones, and then you go out there and get shut out as you the highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah, but they do a lot of up downs together. That's fine.
Yeah, they do a lot of up downs. They do it, but the guy that the Shep was talking about is actually playing really well. So
he is playing well.
He is. You had one. You had a question, Lloyd.
Oh yeah, we do a show earlier in the morning from 7 to 9. We had Jay Bramblett on, the LSU punter, and he was talking about the special teams, quote unquote, like team meeting. This is LSU's second team meeting in as many weeks, and so they're really locking it in together. And the word that you used that Bramblett also used was buy-in, but he used it in a different way. He was like, what we really need after the meeting is we're just trying to get guys bought in. And so if you're 6 weeks into the year and you're still talking about buy-in on one phase of the game that's hurting LSU so much, I mean, where do you really go from there?
You don't got the right guys out there.
Yeah.
If you need buy-in this late into the season, this far into you don't have the right guys out there, right? We call them war daddies. You call them dogs. You call them whatever you want to call them, but they're in the locker room. You just got to find the guys who want to do it. And I know this is a whole different generation where everybody's seeing the league and seeing what you need to do to get there. But there's some guys out there who just want to run out there and play some football. They just want to run out there and hit somebody. Yeah. It's the coach's job to find those guys. They don't got to be the biggest. They don't have to be the fastest. They just got to be guys who have the athletic ability and the effort to get down there and give it everything they got to make the tackle. That's all they have to have. You don't have to run a 4.4. There's dudes that I play with, they run a 4.6, and they can get down there before a dude who run a 4.4 because they got that dog in them. And that's what they got to find in order to be able to have that type of buy-in from the entire team.
Hey, gotta have more dogs.
Yeah, it's a sprint.
Gotta have them.
Coach, it's a sprint to the student section. Let's see who the first one get the hand up. Let's get these people going.
You know what you see with buy-in? You see when you get buy-in, you see a guy. You see our punter punt the ball. It bounced on the 2-yard line. Guys running down there. Doesn't quite get the ball to save it to keep it on the 1-yard line. And you see Tennessee do it 3 drives later where the punter kicks it down there. Their guy gets all the way down there and catches it, downs it at the 1, right? Like, all that is just a little bit of like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I go and make that play, and he makes the play. If you have a little doubt, you don't make the play. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, and another one is, do you understand how big the play is?
Yeah. Right.
Right? Is it just keeping it out of the end zone, or do you understand that now that puts your defense in a position to be successful because they starting at the 1-yard line? Right. Do you understand on punt return that, okay, it ain't all about scoring, right? the way you break it down is, hey, man, if you get a 10-yard return, you just saved your offense from having to get one more first down.
Yeah.
Right? So, we didn't score every time, right? But I got 2 10-yard returns. That's 2 first downs that our offense now does not have to get. Do the people that are playing on your special teams think that way? Or do they think, hey, man, this is, like I said, this is just something I'm out here to do as a stepping stone to then get on the field?
It's funny you bring it up that way because you remember, like I remember, it was almost like the special teams here was like a rite of passage. And it's almost like a feeling as if it's, hey, let's try to get right now, it's almost like a feeling like it's, hey, let's try to get such and such said name because he's this and that player on here. And I don't think the guys are understanding that message. Like Danny will sit here and tell you there's a kid we had here who was a walk-on, skinny as can be. If you looked at him, I didn't even have to say it. I didn't even finish. Skinny as can be. If you literally just looked at him, you were like, he don't belong on the field. And every day when you turn the special teams tape on in practice until it became, hey, kid, this is you're going to actually do this in the game. Every day when you turn the special teams tape on in practice, he was the first one down there. He was faster, more explosive than and it jumped to the point to where he earned a scholarship. And this became the only thing he did, right? And so now imagine that if I got this walk-on who, if I put him in street clothes, he looks like he belongs in the fraternity house. If I put him on the field and he's doing this, and it's on tape every single day, and it didn't matter what the day was, what time it was, how many times they ran down there, he was beating everyone down. Well, it's hard to have not have buy-in from Danny McRae, who's a high recruit coming in here who's also got another job to do on the team. It's hard to not have buy-in from Kelvin Shepard, who's like, well, shit, if he doing it, I got to do it too. And I don't think, like he said, I'm not sure you're filling those roles with the right people to inspire the other guys to be able to do it correctly.
I agree, and I think the coach has a big part in it. Hopefully, we make.
I think we got a coach on the line right now.
You want a job?
Come on back.
You want a job?
Nah, man. Listen, I'm busy doing other things right now.
Yeah.
Maybe after I'm done with all this reality TV stuff.
I got you.
Yeah, I saw that challenge paycheck on Wikipedia. I don't blame you at all.
What's next on the reality TV circuit?
We got the championship. So it was the Challenge USA. They also had a challenge like Argentina, UK, and Australia, and the winners from those shows are all going on to this global tournament to then compete against the MTV people as well, I believe. So that'll be next coming up soon.
Nice. I don't know if you can't give me any details. I was going to ask where it was at.
All right, so then we get back to the challenge. I need, just explain this thing right here. So I don't know if you guys were able to see it at all. He can explain it more in depth. But when you do the challenge, you get to the final. The final they do at a remote location, different from everything. They do this whole unbelievable thing where it's freezing cold, and they do this hike up this mountain for like 3 or 4 hours. Maybe it was halfway, a little further the way through. They're doing Sudoku puzzles and shit, and I'm just like, bro, what is going on? The end of it though is, and I'm still waiting for this picture, by the way. I need to see this, but the end of it though is him at the top of the mountain overlooking the entire area. Can you just talk about that particular experience right there, the final of it?
Yeah, just getting to the top of the mountain, or you want me to take you through the whole final?
Take us through the whole final, yeah.
All right. So, the challenge, the finals are known for being like super crazy, right? Over 24 hours worth of stuff, just nonstop. So we get out there, they drop us in the middle of this lake. We're in Patagonia, which is down south, really, really close to Antarctica. So they drop us off on this little plank. They're like, hey, swim 500 yards in this rough, choppy, open water. When you get to the beach, there'll be the slide puzzle that you have to complete, and whoever completes it first, they win. They get 5 points, right? And there's like 4 or 5 different legs, and you like accrue points as you complete the finals. So jump off and swim. I suck at swimming already. The waves are crazy. The waves are crazy, bro. I'm talking about, it's to the point where I'm swimming and the waves just going over my head. I'm like, bro, am I going to drown? But there's a guy behind me who's like, get me out of here. I quit. So the cat behind me quits. Me and my partner, we pull up to the beach last because I'm slow swimming. We end up finishing the puzzle first. So that's the first part of it. Next part, they're like, hey, all right, hey, sit down. They got a big, huge white onion and 10 cloves of elephant garlic on this plate. And they're like, you got to eat this before you move on to the next part. I'm like, bro, come on.
Your breath probably smelled
Come
good
on,
too
bro.
after that, huh?
Bro, nah, so for the garlic, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pop them
House
in,
it.
take a sip of water, and then just swallow them, right? The third one gets stuck in my throat, pause. And I'm like,
Pause.
I'm like, man, all right, how the hell I'm gonna do this, right? So now I have to chew all this, and now I gotta chew all this garlic, chew all this onion, right? And then after you finish with that, you go through this like knee-high like swamp, and you do these math questions or whatever, and then you come up with the total, and that's the second part. Worst part, we get to the overnight portion to where they say, hey, it's a pole on this side, it's a pit on this side, 25 yards in between. You have to move the dirt from the pole to the pit, reveal the code, move the then when you finish with that, move the dirt from the pit to the pole, walk up the dirt, and then unlock this bag. So that took us like 7.5, maybe 6-7.5 hours to complete that part. We get to sleep at like 5 a.m. They wake us up at 7. Keep in mind, we're sleeping in the tent again. Wet clothes, wet everything. Is freezing. It's raining outside. We've been walking through horse manure all night, so we all sleeping in this one tent. 8 onions and garlic, so it smells horrible in here. And they wake us up at 7. They're like, okay, all right. So at this point, I'm winning. I got 17 points. The guy behind me has 16. And they're like, all right, whoever makes it to the top first, you get double points. So now I have to finish before the guy behind me, or I'll lose after doing all that work. So 10-mile hike up the mountain, walking up this mountain or whatever. We get to the first puzzle. The guy's way ahead of me. I finish the puzzle, catch him at the Sudoku, and he gets stuck at the Sudoku, and I know how to do it. So I end up finishing the puzzle before him, pass him up, get to the top of the mountain. And at this point, where we started at, it's just dirt. Right, it's dirt, it's red, it's wet as rain. By the time we get to the top of the mountain, it's like knee-high snow, raining outside, gray clouds. But then when you get to the very top of the mountain, you're like almost above the clouds. And if you do a 360 view, you see Patagonia, and it's just straight beautiful, bro. Something like you probably never seen in your life, because there's lakes all around the place. The sky all of a sudden started clearing up, so it's no longer gray. It's like the clouds are opening, like I'm at the pearly gates.
I think you were dying. Yeah, that's what I think was happening.
It's an out-of-body experience.
When I got to the top of that mountain, I thought I was dead. Okay, I was freezing. I was like, bro, I'm probably going to lose the toe. At least I'm going to lose the toe. They're in there, they're like rubbing my toes and my fingers, and they just keep asking me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? And it took them like 15 to 20 minutes of rubbing until I was like, okay, I'm starting to, like, they're not numb anymore.
Pause.
I can actually feel all my limbs and my extremities. But I'm going to send Jared that photo. I'm gonna tell you something. It's beautiful, bro.
What's that feeling like when you get up there and you're like, damn, I'm grinding through this for almost a month in misery, trying to do this, and I get to the top of the mountain. Like, literally, the actual analogy of life. Like, hey, you just gotta keep climbing until you get to the top of the mountain. Like, you literally did that in real life. Like, what's that feel like?
It was, you know what? It was more surreal because I've seen this show on TV since probably 2012. So I've seen all this before, and I'm just like, I would never do that. And then to actually go through it, and then, like you said, you go through times of like, I played 6 years in the league. I'm fine at home. I got a wife. I got a kid. What the hell am I doing out here? Like, I could just go home right now, and I'll be absolutely fine. But then getting that feeling in your head where that competitive spirit kicks in again, because that's what we're all looking for most of the time.
Right.
Like, when you're done with baseball, when you're done with football, you still have that itch of like, where can I compete?
Yeah.
And making it up that mountain was my opportunity to have that itch again, and then go through that. Like, hey man, you gotta be stronger in your mind, right? You gotta be stronger in your mind. You can make it to the top. When you get there, it's gonna be something like you never experienced in your entire life. And just having that feeling of having to overcome something again, like having to run 26 110s, having to run 1040s, and then run them again in the 100-degree heat in Baton Rouge, like having to overcome that thought in your mind of like, I can't make it. I think that is a feeling that us as athletes will probably search for the rest of our lives. Yep. Because that's when you get the most joy of like, I overcame something that I may have thought that I couldn't do, and I made my mind tell me that hell nah, bro, you gonna make it to the top. So
I think that's why you see a lot of athletes, a lot of former athletes be so successful in the business world, right? Because that's about as competitive as you can get outside of. Now it's not physically competitive, but it's mentally, emotionally, and you still have that competition. Like, hey, I'm gonna go out there. It's hard to do. Nobody thinks I can do it, and I think that's what makes an athlete tick, right? Like they try to find something that you can compete in.
Yeah, and there's no feeling like it when you especially when you win.
Yep, no doubt.
We all hate losing,
No
right?
doubt.
So it was something I lost, but then winning on top of it is like, one, I'm thinking like, who else is going to do this, right? Who else is going to do this? Who am I showing that they can do this as well? As cliche as that always sounds, is like, I know it's some former NFL players, former professional athletes that probably watch these TV shows as well and be like, man, I'd never do that because I went into it scared of heights, can't swim, definitely didn't want to eat nothing like that disgusting. I don't want to sleep in the tent, with my same clothes on or whatever, do all that. But I did it on Survivor, then I did it on this one. I'm like, there's guys out here who are looking for that itch and looking for something to do, looking for that next avenue who may not be able to open a business, may not have the savvy to do other things. But this is another avenue that you can take to then start you another career that you want to take till you're 50 or to just kind of be a placeholder until you find out what you want to do.
No doubt. Danny, man, we kept you a lot longer than I thought we were going to keep you. I appreciate all your time because this was awesome. You're awesome. Are you going to be in Miami?
Yeah, so I got to go to World Championship, man.
Okay.
Oh, there's a spot open, Coach.
Okay.
There we go. I'm back in the game.
Lloyd, y'all know.
I got a chance to possibly get another $500 to $1 million, man. So I'm gonna have to miss Miami.
Hey,
I would miss Miami. I would miss
that.
Miami too for that. All right, I'd miss Miami too, man. But look, hey, I appreciate your time, dude. We want to have you back on at some point. Best of luck at the World Games or whatever. What is it called? What are they called?
They don't even know. It's
World
just called the World something.
Yeah.
The World something.
He don't even know where you're going.
Good luck against the world.
It don't matter now.
I hope you bring back that $1 million. And then when you do, we'll have you back on. We'll talk about it. I appreciate it, dude.
I
Thank
appreciate y'all for having me, man. This was fun as hell.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come back on, please come back.
All right.
Is he look familiar?
2 tribal councils, 1 fire-making tiger.
Is him getting voted out?
One adventure of a lifetime. Grab your
That's classic.
Damn, you made this man go out like this?
They didn't have a challenge video up of him winning yet.
Hey, dude, I appreciate it. This is perfect. Right on the credits. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, though.
All right, y'all.
God, that's good stuff. And I tell you what, I'm never, ever, 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 ever doing that. I respect him from doing that.
I like that. I'm like, hey, bro, you crazy, dog. You
I like to think that I'm mentally tough, and I ain't doing it.
And look, he's not wrong too. I really believe like if I made the decision to do it, then I'm just in it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna compete.
Right.
But I look at it, I'm like,
I ain't making that decision.
I'm not making that decision.
I'm not making that decision.
I'm good.
At all. Man, this is it ended up being a good show, boys. We got 2 really good interviews. Look, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We had some adversity. Today. We got through the adversity. We started a little later than we wanted to. Luckily, we had 2 guests that were extremely, extremely patient with us and made the show good. We didn't talk about a lot of the stuff that we wanted to talk about, but the beauty of it is we have a Friday show.
We'll be here
and we have another 11 minutes left of this show.
It's kind of like the Braves. Start off with a little adversity, you got to bounce back, make it positive.
You really trying to put that one in there?
Who you
That's when I know
talking
you're
to?
nervous when you just put it in there that kind of way. You're
Clearly
like,
not.
The Braves weren't even going to be brought up just now.
Yeah.
He's
Nope,
a
we're
little
bringing him
nervous.
up.
Hey, here's the deal. You got Mike Wright.
They
Is
had
it
a
Mike
big rain
Wright?
delay.
No. What's his name? Wright. Mike Wright. I play with Mike Wright.
Kyle Wright.
Kyle Wright.
Yeah.
Went to Vandy.
His name is David
It's
Wright. He
scoreless
plays
through
third
5
base
and a
for the Mets.
He went to listen. Let me tell you the thing. Kyle Wright started throwing these super sinkers. Nasty. He used to throw hard 98, 99 mile or 4-seam heaters. Now he throws these super sinkers hard, but in the minor league book twice. Minor league book. But no big league book. So minor league book more of like a pamphlet, doesn't count. It's just a little.
It's just like a
brochure.
side book. Yeah,
It's a brochure.
That's what it is.
It's
It's
a
like the
brochure.
program. It's
Yeah, it
not an
doesn't
actual
count.
book.
It's not etched in stone. It's not etched in stone, right? Where it does.
It's not a New York Times
permanent.
bestseller.
No. It's a little pamphlet or a little brochure, but he's in the brochure. He's in there. Unfortunately, there's more in the brochure.
It's a lot of people that say that.
It's okay. It's part of it.
We're not all Albert Pujols here.
Yeah,
That's
but
tough
I
to
mean,
do.
look, Danny gave us a lot.
We all could be if we all take the same shit.
Oh, boy.
Look, Albert's very good.
Albert's
Albert has-
etched. You can call it what you want.
Albert has never had been
He's
accused
etched.
or found guilty of any of the things that you're accusing him of doing.
I'm not saying he did it his whole career,
You
but
know
I feel
Lloyd.
like
You know Lloyd.
Right?
You know,
What's
this
162?
is back to Lloyd's search
This
board
is
here.
Lloyd. This is Lloyd allegedly saying something.
no, I'm saying it with
Accusing
full
him of something.
confidence.
Oh, are you?
But then I'd like
I'm
to.
with Lloyd on this one. He took some this year. To
He
get to
took it.
700.
Yeah, he took it before.
Maybe
the-
he just did this with hard work and determination. And realized, hey, this is my last 3 months of my life in
I
baseball.
think he
Like,
got
I'm
back in
gonna
the
do
gym
it.
and got back on the grip strength stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Some
Ready to
Oh,
extra,
grip strength?
It just took him a while, man.
Extra
he's
work
gotten
in the
older.
cage. Extra
He's gotten
work in the
older. It
He
takes
got-
him a while, like to get like it's like an old car, you know.
hey, extra work in the cage.
You know what happened? Old man strength kicked in. It just took
That's
a
it.
beat. He
There
was
you
like,
go.
"Are you trying to play baseball or are you trying to retire?" And he's like, "I'm trying to do both." And he got a little bit of both.
There you go.
Speaking of old man, well, not old. This is a young man strength, but Jordan Alvarez,
Oh my God!
Lots of strength,
coach,
all the strength.
435 feet in that ball. I don't know how hard it came off the bat, but I'm willing to bet that was like 115.
I think they said it was like 114. I think.
I mean,
I
dude,
remember correct.
walk off 3-run home
And
run.
it was a line drive.
You could kind of feel it second deck.
Could you imagine hitting a line drive?
Hold on,
That far?
real quick. Sorry. So I'm just looking at Albert Pujols splits in this year between the first half and the second half.
Well, we already know the splits. We know how good a second.
That's
half
like you
is.
telling me, wait, you can't do that, Lloyd. Because here's why you can't do that. Because what I did see this year too is if we want to throw it somewhere else, I saw that Alex Bregman hit 290 something at home and like 205 on the road this year.
Yep.
So what are you saying?
I guess don't take his shirt off if he hits a walk off. Did they take off your? They take
He
off your
did.
name?
No, Bregman did hit a big 2-run homer to
Yeah.
make that walk off possible.
You can't
Big
say
2-run
that.
home
You
run.
can't say that. You
Wow.
can't do that. Stop that.
I mean, in the same vein, we got Albert going. First half, modest 215, just above the Mendoza line. Second half, plays 3 more games. That's 323. How many home runs did he hit in the first half, you might ask? 6. How many did he hit in the second half?
17.
18.
18.
What was he chasing in the second half? What was that going on
History.
again? History? Okay.
Yeah, 700. See, that's
He's
the
an
point.
old car. It
Sometimes,
takes a little while to get it started.
you get the motivation and it just happens, you know?
Manifest destiny.
And
That's
then
it.
one swing happens and you're like, oh shit.
Oh,
And
that's
he
it.
found it at the home run derby.
That's it.
There it
There you
was.
go.
There
See?
you go.
Sometimes that's what it is.
Got
you know?
grooved in. Locked in.
But baseball is absolutely electric. Jack is watching the Braves game on his phone right now. It is 0-0.
Yep.
Who started for the Phillies?
Wheeler.
And what is he still in the? Still,
Yeah,
is-
both starters. are
Both
still in.
starters still in the game. What's the hits? Give me.
Two
Because the
hits
rain
for-
delay. Is it
two
still
hit-
raining? Is it still
No.
raining?
2 hits for the 2 hits for the Braves, 1 for the Phillies.
Ooh, pitchers do. Now here's the thing: Wheeler's throwing today. Hypothetically, I'm not saying the Braves are going to lose,
But
the
if they
Braves-
do, they have Nola throwing the deciding
that's what
game.
I'm getting to. If Braves lose, Aaron Nola, is on the bump for the deciding game 3 or the not
Could be
deciding.
close.
Could be the
Opportunity to
deciding
push
game
them
3.
to the-
Could be an opportunity to sweep the division winner.
And
100 game, 100,
defending champs.
defending champs, 100 game winner. Now they already defeated one 100 game winner.
Yeah.
The Mets out,
See.
right?
Yeah.
No, the Phillies beat the Cardinals.
Mets.
Oh, that's right. Who beat the Mets?
The whoever playing the Dodgers. This
Padres.
Padres.
The other Nola brother beat the Mets. Which, speaking of, Austin is catching for the Padres, and he's having a really, really good postseason. He's hitting 500. I think he's got 4 RBIs. He had a couple hits. Had a double last night. Had a sacrifice fly last night. He's having a really good postseason. He is arbitration eligible at the end of the year.
He looks strong, too.
Hey, he looks good. He's healthy. Listen, postseason gets you paid, Coach.
Yes,
Gets you
it
paid.
does.
You have a good postseason, you get paid. Listen, all those guys for the Padres that were struggling, or not really him, but Grisham, these guys that really didn't put up a lot of these big numbers, you're starting to see them swing the
Soto.
bat. Once you get out of the regular season, you see the averages go back down to 0, and you don't have to worry about, I'm hitting 175 or I'm hitting 180. Things change, man. You take that's that mental block, and they are doing it. And
Postseason doesn't only get you paid. You know what else it
now,
gets Longevity.
Because they know you can play in the postseason.
Yeah.
Winning teams want you, and
They
get you a free
really
agency,
slap
yeah.
that experience tag on you real hard. You get some postseason experience.
But the Padres have a tough task. They got to play the Dodgers. They lost 5-3 last night. Clayton Kershaw is on the bump, and he's been hot. He's been pitching really well.
I'm not sure if they're going to be good enough to do it, but I kind of, especially in baseball, man, I kind of really do feel those teams that keep playing, they kind of have a leg up on the team that gets to go home and sit for 5 days.
Yeah.
It's tough to do.
Listen, Jack, I know Jack is a diehard Braves fan, right? And the Braves last year were not supposed to win the World Series, but they got hot going into the postseason, and they took that all the way to the ring, right?
Coach, they sucked last year.
Which I am looking at other teams that are doing the same thing. Phillies, Padres got hot and beat teams. Seattle.
Yep.
Now Seattle.
Lost all that momentum.
I mean, that was tough. Seattle,
That's a kick in the nuts.
what happened to Seattle is what Seattle did to Gosman and the Blue Jays the round before, right? So, that's baseball. That's what makes postseason baseball so beautiful because Toronto's up 8-1.
Ugh.
Game's probably, you think the game's over with.
What do
Next
you
thing
mean
you know, you take Gosman out.
You're
Wild
in
pitch to run
Major
homer
League
8-5.
baseball
8-5.
up 8-1.
In the
Yeah.
playoffs.
In the seventh inning.
That felt like we climbed a mountain when we did it here.
No doubt.
Major League Baseball doing
No
it.
doubt. So that game should be over. Did not end. But that's what makes postseason baseball awesome. And you have guys that are become
So
heroes
brutal.
and win games that you probably hadn't done it all year.
Do yourself a favor. If you really don't like watching baseball, maybe you're a casual watcher of baseball, turn the volume up and sit down and watch a postseason game. I
It's the
promise
best.
you it's a different
Listen to me.
experience.
And look, you can say that about a lot of sports, right? Like, people are like, man, basketball's so hard to watch throughout the year, but then playoff basketball, you feel a difference. Hockey, same kind of thing. Baseball. These sports that always have these long seasons and a lot of games, you hear that a lot, but they're not wrong, right? Playoff hockey is electric, right? You watch hockey, you're like, damn, this is awesome. Playoff basketball is electric because everything matters. In playoff baseball, it may be 3.5 hours, but it doesn't feel that way because you're every pitch and every inning matters.
What about postseason baseball for you makes it so electric?
To me, it's the buy-in from everybody on the team, but it's the buy-in of the fans, right? Like, during the season in June, you could be playing on a Saturday night, and the fans are into it, but, not really into it. You know what I mean? Like, the game's long. It's June. Like, the game matters, but, does it really matter to the
Because
fans?
there's another one tomorrow.
Because there's another one tomorrow. There's another 90 the rest of the season.
But there's one kid in those stands that's watching Mikie Mahtook saying, that could be me. That's who you're playing for.
Apparently.
That was random.
I like that. That's it.
Jesus, Coach.
That's what Derek Jeter said. All these people came to watch me. I can't let them down. But for me, it's the crowd, right? Because you go in there and you get up to bat and you feel that energy. You feel the fans damn, every pitch matters, every at bat matters, and that to me makes it awesome.
Yeah, you bring that up. I think watching as a fan and or playing, you go through the regular season, you play hard. You do your best day in, day out to not take pitches off, to not take at bats off, to not take innings off.
Because there's a kid in those stands that's watching saying, I could be the
That
next
same kid's
Aaron
always at
Mitchell.
the games too. It's that literal same kid. But just like he said, when you get to postseason baseball, it's that feeling of. So if I'm a really good hitter, I'm a 300 plus hitter. If I'm an average hitter, I'm a 250 hitter. If I'm a below average hitter, I'm less than that. 300 is 30%. 250 is 25%. It's a low percentage. So with that being said, you feel like with every strike and every hit that happens, you truly feel like it's not supposed to happen.
Right.
And then it does.
Right.
It's a way different. It's a really, really, really weird feeling, right? Because if I watch a football game and I watch a playoff football game, he's still going to throw for 70% if he's good. That's going to happen 7 out of 10 times. That's way more than 3 out of 10 times. It's way more than 2 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying? So it really gives you a feel of every hit, every play, everything is it's so amplified.
Well, and you
just a
feel the
different
buy-in
feel.
from the players, right, and the team, right? So you could go 0 for 4, or you can go 4 for 4, but if you win the game, that's the only thing that matters, and that's you want to believe that all year. That's the feeling, right? But in reality, that's not.
But
And
it goes from, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but it feels like it goes from almost like a little bit of a job to,
Yes.
okay, this is what I work for because now I get to play.
yeah, right. You're playing
Well, because truthfully, you're not making like it's all extra, right? We get to the end of the year and this is extra baseball, right? So it's like I'm bought in because we get to do something that I don't know at this point 22 other teams don't get to do.
Listen, you're going there and you're playing in June, July, even August. Like you don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel because it's such a long season. You get to the postseason, hey, this is a sprint. This is 1 month of playing baseball. And you don't have to play every single day because you have some travel days. You win the series early. You get to move on, and you have a few days off. Like, you are literally sprinting to the finish line to try to get to the finals, and you're not getting paid, right? So, like, you are truly only playing to win a championship. Now, you get to the finals, you get playoff shares, and the playoff shares at the end of the year, I mean, you make it all the way. You do get money, but, like, it's not you're not getting your salary. Like you're not, if you're making $30 million a year, you're not even making. You're not making that. You know what I mean? Like you're not making that paycheck that month. So you're literally playing to win in a World Series ring, and like it matters, and you feel the energy, and it's just like that is why it's so awesome.
And for baseball players, for the game of baseball more than any other game, those teams that are wild card teams, those teams that made it in at the end of this thing, it becomes the end of August all through September where there ends up being. Because obviously all those teams start winning, right? Where there ends up being a little more buzz in the stands. It matters a little bit more every day because we each day are in a way kind of fighting for an opportunity because we're not really in it right now, but we're trying to get back in it, right? So for those teams, for a good while, they have that feeling like, bro, we've been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We've
right,
been doing
and that's
this.
why you see some of these wild card teams make deep runs because they've had to play do or die games basically for
a month
and a half before the playoffs.
Right.
Oh, the Mets were ready for it too.
I mean,
that's
like,
what they had to do.
he'll tell you just-
Well, the Mets tanked and then had to go and get their way back.
There's
They
a
helped
I
the
don't.
Braves last year.
Well, I'm about to say I don't know exactly what team it was, but the Braves last year they were barely fiddling above
Shit.
500 when
Braves-
the All-Star break was
the
done.
Braves
Yeah,
last
They were
year,
down and out.
the Nationals the year before, right? Like the Nationals had a losing record in May and ended up going and winning the World Series. Like that's just
It's really
get
about
hot,
who gets hot.
Yep.
And, when you've
doubt.
been doing that for a while, it makes it really interesting.
I can't believe we don't get the trumpets in postseason baseball.
I really wish that
trumpets.
would have gone further.
Actually, you do get the trumpets because the Braves catcher uses it as his walk-up song.
Oh, it's
What?
not the same.
Contreras
Yeah,
has it as his
doesn't
walk-up
work. Doesn't
song.
work.
you took
the
it
same.
after him.
No.
I don't
He's
care. It
always
doesn't
used
work the same. It doesn't have the same effect, and it can't play for. It can't play
He's
for 2
used it
minutes.
since he was in the bigs.
Can't play for 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter.
That's the thing. Oh, I just wanted to see it on.
I would have
TV.
loved to have seen it.
And
on,
people are giving a hard time about like, oh, why play it? They're like, that's his song, bro.
No,
You
it's
play it
great.
every time he comes out.
Yeah.
They could be up by 12, down by 12. Like that's his walkout song.
Well, he doesn't come out if they're down by. If they're out by.
No,
they're
right,
down by
but
12.
but when he does come out, the song plays,
Yeah.
right? No matter when he comes out. Like if he's just getting a mop-up inning during the middle of the season, it doesn't hit as well as hard as it would be if it's a closing.
Well, you had Inner Sandman coming out. Of,
Yeah, right. And like that, but-
it was low.
And listen, I know people are just jabbing at it because it's easy to, but like,
Oh,
I
I
don't think they
love
Well, because we
I
finally
loved
see
hearing it
something
when they were
that
losing.
was like
Loved
not
it.
normal, and people were like, "Oh, that's not baseball," but it is.
Yeah.
It should be. It's dope.
I loved listening to it while they were watching their playoff hopes go away.
Jack's in this thing.
He's in it.
He's in it. Now listen, we had a lot we wanted
Dan's
to talk
just made
about.
that
There's a
podcast
lot of
series.
sports news that we want to talk about. But hey, sometimes the way the show's structured, sometimes the way
Sometimes
the
we get
technology
electricity
gods
in
do
here.
to
Life
us,
works.
sometimes the way the internet has been really trying to toy with us and really just
What's-
make our life hell.
What's the saying?
You don't get to do it. I don't
Cooking
know.
my grits, coach. Remember the Titans. The internet's cooking my grits.
That's the same.
That's the saying.
That's the saying.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's the
I wanted.
one. That's not the one I expected.
That's the
to hear,
one.
but yeah,
I don't
that's the
think
one.
when you ask me what's the saying, that's not the saying that I thought you were going with there. But that's
That's,
okay.
that doesn't reach
You're
like
cooking-
the top 15 sayings.
The
I kinda
internet
thought
is
you were
cooking
gonna
my
go
grits. I can't tell you last time I heard that probably cooking my grits. You know what?
Bring it back.
It's cooking it. It's cooking you. But it's okay. It's not cooking you. It's cooking us.
Overcooking my grits.
It's cooking everybody. It's frustrating, but look,
with.
we're
I wonder
here.
if Jimmy Burrow's heard that saying before.
Right. Coach to T.C. Williams, Herman Spoon.
But all of the talk that we want to talk about this weekend, it's a big weekend for the Tigers. They play at Florida. You get your starting left tackle back.
Oh, that's such a blessing. It made me automatically
You
bet
get to
LSU.
beat Gilbo's daddy.
So you get to you have a big matchup with the coaches. Obviously, the coaches aren't on the field playing; they're coaching. Billy Napier, who we have a lot of respect for, a lot of people have a lot of respect. I have no ill will towards Billy Napier. Hope he's very successful.
Except
I just
for
hope,
Saturday.
I just hope that not successful against us. And I want to see the difference. I want to see what the Tigers have done. But since it's 8:05 and since we just ran out of time and we had 2 electric interviews with Coach Jimmy Burrow and Danny McRae, we will have a lot of this conversation on Friday.
Champion.
The challenge champion, hopefully the world champion, which I don't know what it's going to be called, but the world champion. The world challenge champion.
The world challenge champion. If
world
he has to go up
challenge
against
champion.
like Mike the Miz and TC and all those guys, it's going to get.
So here's the deal. I don't know any of those people.
Oh,
You know who the Miz is?
The wrestler guy.
The one that's
you don't know who TC is?
How would I know that?
Because he's a challenge legend.
Well, I don't watch the challenge.
wait.
You just had to have
Isn't the Miz
seen
from
it.
Louisiana?
I have no idea.
But
He's a big
before we
brown
bring
guy.
up the Miz, we are going to have all these conversations on Friday, which probably is going to be better, right? Like we're going to have the ability to talk all LSU
Oh, your
on
boy
Friday.
just dropped one. Yeesh.
Who?
Your boy.
Of
Who's my
CT.
boy?
Castellanos.
He dropped a fly ball.
It was, okay, tough catch in foul territory, but went right through the glove.
He also ended the game the other yesterday, though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I will
he-
say Wheeler's at 54 pitches in the 6th, which is concerning.
Whoa, he's
Yeah.
Maddoxing him.
54 pitches.
He's
in
Greg
six.
May. He's throwing a Maddox.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Yeah, that
Hey,
means it's
talk
not
about-
going very well for y'all
talk
right
about-
now. That's what that means.
Talk about a guy who doesn't say a word but is awesome and he's unbelievable on the mound. Him. He sits in his locker. He doesn't say anything. He's just very, very, very chill and low key. But he is nasty and he's a super nice guy. Back to what I was saying.
He just struck out the drunk driver.
Who's the
Ozuna.
Oh.
I'm Ozuna from the Braves.
Ozuna's still playing?
Yeah.
How is he still playing with all this shit that was going
He
on?
never
Yeah.
even not. He never even
He
stopped
never- he
playing.
never
Like, they
stopped
never.
playing.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't
Dude.
know. I don't know how that happened.
I respect the Braves for that.
I'm Ozuna
Yes,
from
you
the
know
Braves. That doesn't
Who
matter.
cares?
buddy.
Yeah,
You're
we don't
hammered.
care. I mean, people drink and
You
drive.
beat your wife and you drink
that
and drive.
was he got
and
punished
you're-
for that one.
When?
He had to
He got
get.
suspended like last year.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
for the whole year?
I don't remember.
No.
Dude, we started winning. I didn't give a crap who was on the field.
Yeah, but the drunk driving in Ozuna and tries to give him his MLB players card is an all-time moment. Like,
I'm Ozuna
tough.
from the
I got,
Braves.
this is literally my last card to play before I have to go to jail, and I'm in so much hot water in the
We
bridge.
came
like,
up. We came up together playing when he was in the Marlins. He has some super juice. Unbelievable how far he can get the ball.
easily too.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't. It
all
just like
right,
almost
yeah.
look like he's one-handed.
Flicking. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about the
It
LSU
translates.
Florida stuff. We're gonna talk a lot about what we want to see. We are going to try to get a beat writer on for a phone call. Can't do video. We can't do video calls at Earl's, huh?
No.
No.
Okay, no video calls.
Well,
Okay.
no,
Oh
no.
no. Okay. Why not?
Well, we need to bring that big computer
Oh yeah, we can't do.
because we need a front jack,
We can't do that.
the
Okay.
audio, and a
We'll
back
do.
jack.
We'll do a. We'll
wonder
do
if any
a,
of them are
a
Well-
phone call. Okay. We'll talk this through. We're gonna
We'll
figure
see.
this out. Worst case scenario, we're gonna try to get a beat writer talk about what to expect this weekend.
Ben
Florida
McKee didn't
side.
really miss it, by the way. He was pretty spot on.
No,
about
Ben
what-
McKee was great. Ben McKee was great.
Oh, his confidence was very justified.
Danny McRae
Yeah.
Danny McRae showed you how to fix the special teams. Let's see if we do that.
I mean, you got to send that in for tape.
Who was the
and
guy you said that was running down?
resume?
Daniel Graff.
Daniel Graff. I remember him. I didn't even say
I
his
hope he's
name.
listening to Daniel Graff.
Daniel Graff.
I literally spoke 2 sentences about him. He goes, "Oh, Graff."
Hey, stop
He already
being a
knew.
junior,
He knew.
motherfucker.
Yeah, Daniel Graff.
Just beaming.
It was
at me,
impressive, bro.
bitch.
Like legit.
Yeah,
Film would come on, and this man is 5 yards ahead of everybody running down.
I
the
love
field.
that. That's want to right there. That's,
Oh, my
that's
God.
like that is like, hey, I want to.
180 pounds, soaking wet, skinny as hell, running straight into. Like, I'm just like, he is crazy.
Love that.
Crazy.
They're
All right,
they're
good
trying to
show.
injure a kid.
Yeah, that's it.
We had a great show today, considering the situation that we had before.
He's filling up pictures.
And
It's so great.
I'm very proud of what we did today, boys.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm
I'm
very-
glad we all held
Hey,
in
I'm
there.
very
Put that
proud
up
of
there.
what we
Put that
did.
up there.
Good.
Absolutely.
We good.
I just hope when you see it happen other places, we watch and pay attention to other podcasts, and you see the challenges of making a new studio.
Yep.
And it could be it works one day and one day it doesn't, and you don't know why.
It takes a little while to get the kinks out.
Yeah, and you just some
So
days
we're working
it's
on
just
We
it.
adjusted on the fly.
We do
Yeah,
love
we
it. We
do
do love the studio. We do love what it's gonna be. We just gotta wait until we master that room. We gotta figure out why they don't have Wi-Fi in that room. I don't like that.
Why
We
do you
should
keep calling this guy
We should have
small?
just adjusted our tunes a little quicker. But there he is,
Yeah.
Daniel. I really hope you're watching this. Shout out to you. You were special to watch.
Sneaky Brandon Taylor
I mean,
back there.
I'm
with
just
jacked
saying, like,
arms.
but
Look
yeah,
at the
I was
arms.
literally about to tell you. I was about to say, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but Look at the figure that's in 43, and then look at the figure that's in 18.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of 18.
He was the rock star. Of this
Speaking of
whole
18, what do you think? What do you think the chances of Brandon Taylor coming to Earl's on Friday is?
thing. If he's in town,
Well, when he be in town?
he told you he was in Houston.
Yeah, but he was just there for that day. He does stuff on like
Game day.
game day.
He does, but
But
I mean, we could try. I don't have a
we
problem.
can try. Let's
I'm
see.
just saying.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Let's just see. We'll ask him. All right. Enjoy the rest of the night.
What do you think he thinks? What do you think Grath thinks about the special teams?
He loves it, bro.
What he's watching right now, he's
Uh-huh.
watching. He's not. He might have thrown up in his shoe a couple times.
Who? Getting back in the stands.
Swear to God, if you pop one more fucking pop up, I'm thumbing in my shoes, Jeff.
Yeah, that's what. That's where that's coming from. He might have thrown up in his
I
shoe.
swear to God, you pop this ball one more fucking time, Chef. I'm gonna vomit in my shoes.
What a saying.
Very true.
He was cooking his grits.
Sean texted me and said he wants to come back
He
on.
did say that. He called me yesterday.
He's losing his clout on TikTok.
Yep, he needs a little bit
He
more.
needs the juice.
Just a little bit more jab. All right, you're watching Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Please like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. We are going to continue to bring out better clips, shorter clips, more
Content.
that we are creating for you on the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow that. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with a friend. Comment on our social media pages because we like to interact back and forth. We're on all podcast networks, Spotify and Apple. And we will see you this Friday from Uncle Earl's, live from Uncle Earl's 436. Jay, you're not going to be here next week, huh?
Next week I'll be out.
Jay's going to be out next week.
Vacation.
He has a big
It's a vacation.
he has a big moment in his
Scheduled
life.
vacation.
He has a big moment in his life happening in a few months. And this is a
Size large.
size extra large maybe.
You're pregnant?
Yeah, jumbo.
Wear it well.
I think I'm good.
Um,
not really showing.
That's why he's wearing black and slimming.
It must be the F-45.
Stay away from stripes.
Yeah, no stripes, especially vertical stripes.
And horizontal stripes.
I gotta stay in the good lighting too. That's always part of it.
But he's on
Learn that
vacation
today,
for a
yeah.
few days to go out and scout out some things he needs to scout out for the big monumental day that's happening in a few months. So we are going to miss you, but the show must go on, and we are going to have some shows next week, and
Make it seamless.
we're gonna make it fun. All right, let's call it a
Yeah,
night.
that's when we call in the boys. Call in the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's when we get Ochinko. That's when we
Yeah,
get
we get the replacements.
Yeah.
The movie was on the other day. That's one movie that every time it's on, I watch it.
It's a very good movie.
Every time I turn
They're
it on, it's the jail scene. They're always
Yeah, always dancing.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Keep putting that on TV.
Yeah, I love it, and it's supposed to be a good mood every time. I'm thinking like, damn, I'm gonna try to dance with them. And then you go watch that one, and it's the Longest Yard. Every time they're both on, I watch. The Longest Yard was on the other day, but in Spanish. It was very weird, unless my TV got messed up. But it was the only channel that was in Spanish. It was very weird.
That is weird. I mean, maybe you could have learned something. Duolingo.
I speak too fast for me.
But
all
if
right.
you know the lines to the movie, you know what they're saying. You essentially could learn Spanish.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should do.
That means you gotta learn the movie too. That's a lot.
I already know the movie. You know the movie.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they put Remember the Titans in on Spanish, I would know 100%.
That that
I
might be
can
the
quote
way
the
to
whole
learn.
movie. I can quote the whole movie.
Dumb and Dumber, I could do.
Yep.
Life.
All right.
Life.
Definitely life.
That would be the best way for me to learn Spanish.
I don't know.
I think
I
I
don't
wrote
know
life the way.
if I don't even know how. We should do that. We should just see how that would look. I love that movie.
I know it would help.
Claude and Ray.
Okay. What up?
Subtitles. So
Yeah,
you
but
see
then-
the English. I was talking about marijuana.
I know what you're
Because
talking
It
about.
would be just
I
what
know
am
what you're
I
talking about.
doing here? Like, imagine walking in on that. Somebody's watching just a movie in Spanish, and they don't speak Spanish. Like, what are you doing?
I'm learning Spanish.
Learning.
Hooked on phonics. No, it's not hooked on phonics.
Hooked on chronics.
Sounds like it'd be a lot of giggling going on in there.
Yeah. All right.
Damn toe slipped in the Coke bottle.
Enjoy your Wednesday night.
Which one?
We are brought to you by Sterling Automotive, and we will see you again on Friday live from Uncle Earl's. Peace.
Come drink.